Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. CARICOM chairman commends GASTON BROWNE administration of Antigua for LIAT's rescue. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 22nd November 2023, brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Details when we return.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. CARICOM chairman and Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt's CARICOM has heaped praise on the GASTON BROWNE administration for the efforts to keep LIAT in the skies. Prime Minister Skerrit spoke on the issue in an exclusive interview with ABS News on his way back from the inaugural Saudi CARICOM summit. The government of Antigua and Barbuda saved LIAT from liquidation by placing it under a court-appointed administrator. The government has since secured investment from Nigeria's largest private carrier, Air Peace, as it seeks to get LIAT 2020 off the ground. The CARICOM chairman says other regional heads must now play their part to address the travails of regional travel.
I want to commend Prime Minister Browne for really holding the fort where LIAT is concerned. And I think high commendation must be given to him for having LIAT flying. But certainly it will require more participation from all of us. See, and that is the error we made back then. Too few of us were engaged in LIAT. And we always said, if we allow LIAT to go under, we'll have a problem in the Caribbean. And it's manifesting itself. Unfortunately, we'll have people otherwise. But we have to face the reality. And so it's important for us to engage ourselves. All of us, dialers, must play a part in financing a strategy. It's not easy, I'm not saying it's easy. But I believe now there is a greater political will on the part of every head of government. And so it might be an opportunity time for us to be able to invest in finding a long-term solution to the air travel challenges that we are experiencing over the last couple of years.
Will your government commit to invest in LIAT financially?
Of course, certainly. Certainly. I think whatever entity we can bring in, LIAT, others, Dominic is prepared to play its part because it's so crucial for all of us, not only Dominic, but the entire region.
In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has not ruled out the Venezuela-Guyana issue having a negative effect on Trinidad and Tobago's Dragon gas deal, but hopes it doesn't reach to that point. More in this TTT News item.
Last week, Venezuela said it will go ahead with a referendum in December over its rights to a potentially oil-rich territory that is the subject of a border dispute with Guyana. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Dr. Rowley said he is confident the issue will be treated with dialogue, noting that CARICOM remains a zone of peace, which is the best position for all. Both countries, he said, are a part of TNT's investments and agreements, and he is certain the government of Venezuela respects the government of TNT, as does the government of Guyana.
The last thing we want is for us not to be in a period of peace and a zone of peace. I don't have a crystal ball, but things, especially where diplomatic matters are concerned and that nature, I have no forecast to make as to how it will go. But I could tell you what I would not like to see. I would not like to see the relationship between Venezuela and Guyana deteriorate to a point where consequent actions would negatively damage all of us.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Rowley says he's not in support of Trinidad and Tobago's national anthem being used in a soca or calypso. Soca artist Iwa George recently launched a song called Happy People, where a few verses of Trinidad and Tobago's national anthem were used. TTT News has more.
Speaking at a media briefing, Dr. Rowley said it's not something he is in support of.
I am not jumping up and down about the national anthem being used that way in any calypso. There's something that ought to be special about your national anthem. And the reason why you stand when it is being sung, I don't stand up on any hymn being sung or any other. You stand when the national anthem is being sung for a reason. And that gives it a profile and a place that no other song has. And on that basis, I would say, I would rather if the national anthem is not treated in that way.
And still from Trinidad, the Prime Minister believes the opposition does not want to see any improvement in crime and is using the crime talks for political gain. Sunil Lala of TTT News reports.
This is not about me. It's about the government meeting the opposition.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said there is no reason for him to be physically present at the proposed crime talks with the opposition. Asked whether it's still on, the Prime Minister said the opposition has demanded several conditions, including who should be present on the government side, and this will not be accepted.
And holding out the prospect of something better and laying down conditions, they will lay down no condition for this government.
He accused the opposition of using this for political gain.
Because they believe that if the country is being beaten down by regular, frequent, outrageous criminal conduct, that is a political bonanza for them to engage verbally and for them to engage and campaign on electorally. So they don't really want any change.
Meanwhile, Dr. Rowley also expressed his view of a peace agreement which was allegedly made between gangs with the help of police officials.
The police will speak to you and be authorized to speak to you. But what the police is not going to be authorized to do is to negotiate any abridgment of the laws of Trinidad and Tobago as it applies to any aspect of criminal conduct.
The Prime Minister held a media briefing at the Diplomatic Center on Monday after attending the inaugural CARICOM Saudi Arabia Summit in Saudi Arabia last week. Sonolala, TTT News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Over in Jamaica, a cop faces murder charge in 5-year-old death of Jamaica Defence Force JDF private. More in this CVM Live news item.
This is the exact moment Donald Thompson, who up to 2017 was attached to the Portmore Police Station in St. Catherine as a corporal, was being led from the Special Coroner's Court on Maxfield Avenue on November 14, 2023, charged with the death of 27-year-old JDF Private Davian Atkinson inside a bar on Yonge Street in the Old Capital.
The initial narrative that was there, or that was put forward to the police, was that Mr. Atkinson was shot twice because he was amongst a group of 3 men who were robbing that particular bar early in the morning when they were confronted by the officer who is before the court now for murder. The officer would have indicated that, he would have shot at these. He was shot at and then he returned fire. And when he returned fire, Mr. Atkinson was found on the ground, suffering from gunshot wounds.
A resolution deemed long in coming, 8 years. Now, this latest update to the May 14, 2015 controversy is a win not only for the Atkinsons, but it clears the dark veil left behind on the slain soldier.
They always had it that there's no way their son would have, been a JDF private would have been robbing a bar. That's something that they could never conceptualize and they never thought was true. So, they feel really good that Mr. Atkinson is vindicated now, and supported by the fact that a legal process has taken place and the person who had killed him is going to be brought before the court for murder.
As the legal rep explains, Indicom was also part of the subsequent investigations looking into the credibility of the policeman's statement.
The matter was tried, and the jury deliberated and returned a verdict, which then prompted the judge to have the matter put before him, have him formally charged, and the matter put before the criminal courts as a murder case.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister ends a trip to Saudi Arabia with agreement to partner on a range of important areas. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
Back from a high-level meeting between CARICOM heads and the leadership of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre provided an update on the fruits born from the inaugural gathering. The high-level meeting came some 3 months after a US $75 million loan agreement was signed between the government of St. Lucia and the Saudi Fund for Development for the St. Jude Hospital Reconstruction Project.
Fund for St. Jude will happen. It's a matter of process. The process is as it relates to tendering, as it relates to procurement. These are being finalized, but I can assure the public of St. Lucia that the funding for St. Jude and for the completion or for the rehabilitation of the stadium in Vieux-Fort is confirmed, and the money is available and will be available to the government of St. Lucia.
In accordance with the loan agreement, an international bidding process to select a contractor will be undertaken, says the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, work continues on the project site.
As soon as the final documents are completed with the SDF, they're going to be published. But as you know, work is continuing there. We're working on 4 buildings. I want you to understand that.
What work is going on?
We're working on 4 buildings: physiotherapy, dialysis, the kitchen, and the laundry.
Who is doing the work? And
the work is been financed by the government of St. Lucia, and it's being done. It's continued to be done by CIE.
Apart from reaffirming their mutual interests and friendly relations, the summit facilitated opportunities for St. Lucia and CARICOM heads to exchange views on issues of common interest and discuss ways to further expand their partnership.
What happened in Saudi Arabia in terms of what happened to a desert is phenomenal. But we have issue of climate change. That's going to be key. We go to COP next week. We're going to be discussing climate change. These countries, they share similar issues as far as climate change is concerned. So there's a lot that unites us. Renewable energy. Although these countries are oil-producing countries, renewable energy is high on their list in terms of its effects on climate change and our carbon footprint. So there's a lot that unites us, and that's what we are working together.
The inaugural summit, which had representation from all 15 CARICOM states, signaled a commitment to developing a strategic alliance between the 2 regions. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.